Hello everyone, this is the Naples Money Managers. I am Marcus Bickle and this is Dennis Nelson and this is News You Can Use. I hope everyone is doing well. It's kind of an overcast day here in Naples, Florida. We've had some much needed rain these last couple of days, which has been great. It's been dry this year. For financial news, there's not a whole lot going on. It's obviously Monday. The markets had a pretty decent week last week, but I think the big thing that's kind of in the forefront of a lot of financial news are semiconductors, right, Dennis?
Absolutely. This is a big topic.
And when we say semiconductors, what does that mean? Well, semiconductors are kind of in everything. If it's got a chip, which everything does nowadays, whether it's your car or your phone or obviously your computer, they use a semiconductor. And right now we have a pretty severe shortage around the world, to the point that it's causing major companies to have production problems. Things you wouldn't think of, like General Motors has had to delay production at several of their plants for some of their new cars because they can't get the chips they need. And it also kind of means that certain, Highflyers have not done as well this year. And I'll kind of turn that over to Dennis.
Well, that's absolutely true. Some of the Highflyers, some of the chip designers and sellers of chips, like AMD, NVIDIA.
And they had huge years last year, up 100% or something like that.
Absolutely huge years are down or just steady this year, because they can't get the chips to sale. They can't. People who are actually the end users, like you say, General Motors, have had to shut down some production because they can't get the microprocessors. And it's interesting. I built a house here about 4 years ago. And it was designated a smart house. Well, smart house. Marcus laughs because every morning I would come in swearing about the smart house and how do I make it dumber, Marcus. But every one of these functions, from air conditioners to fans to everything else, was run by a microprocessor, and that's what we're talking about here when we're talking about chips. The average new car made right now takes about 100 microprocessors.
I knew it was a lot, but I didn't know it was that much. Wow.
Everything from regulating the windshield wipers to the fuel intake is controlled by a microprocessor. What would you guess the average electric car uses?
Oh,
over 1,000.
And especially with all the new driverless stuff they're trying to do.
And that just blows everything. And another one, you were talking about driverless and how that fits in with 5G. Qualcomm does a lot of the 5G infrastructure. They can't get the chips. This is a big log jam, and it's a demand created one.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, it is.
So you talk about building infrastructure. There's a huge infrastructure that has to be built to get the chips that we need to make our economy smart.
And these plants are expensive, is for what I understand too, to build this stuff out.
Intel is putting $20 billion into plants in Arizona.
Some walking around money, it really is.
Well, fortunately they've got it.
Yes, they do.
For walking around money, but one good thing, they're U.S. based. I really like that in this new day and age. But who are they're going to build the plant and they're going to produce chips. But this factory is going to be filled with equipment that makes these chips. Now, who does that?
And that's the stuff we like to know.
That's right. And this is the infrastructure we were talking about. AMAT, Applied Material, is a big manufacturer of equipment for manufacturing chips. KLAC, another not often talked about company, does a big job in that area. as does Lam Research. These stocks have obviously gone up in response to what the current situation is, and gone up a lot. AMAT has probably gone up from $60-$70 a share to $130.
That's a good move.
Indeed. So that's where the action is right now, rather than being actually in the people that design and sell the chips for the end user. Right now, it's for the people who design the machinery that makes the chips.
Because investors know that they're going to have to build out more infrastructure to meet this demand.
To meet this demand. This demand doesn't appear to be going down. In fact, it's probably going to
scale upwards from here.
Explode.
Yeah.
Geometrically explode.
I think you're absolutely right.
And all of the stuff that we're talking about here, like the windmills, I don't know, but I'll guarantee you it uses a lot of microprocessors to produce energy from wind. And you go down the list. It takes a lot of these automatic processors to handle everything from our phones to our air conditioners in our house to the cars.
Everything's a computer nowadays, more or less.
Everything is a computer, and some of them, and in fact most of them, very small computers designed to do one or two things, and yet we still need it and become more reliant on them.
Well, there you go, folks. Semiconductors. We are, like Dennis said, looking at the infrastructure level of that, and honestly, it's going to be an interesting future with this going forward. That's all we have today. This is the Naples Money Managers news you can use. Remember, money matters, but most importantly, you matter. Have a great day.